Good evening. Tonight we're going to cover the Zodiac Killer. The Zodiac Killer murdered 5 known victims in the San Francisco Bay Area between December 1968 and October 1969. The identity of the Zodiac Killer remains unknown to this day. What we do know is that he was a serial killer who operated in Northern California in the late 1960s and possibly the early 1970s. He targeted young couples and a lone male cab driver. 2 of his attempted victims survived. The Zodiac himself claimed to have murdered 37 victims, and he has been linked to several other cold cases, some in Southern California and possibly outside the state of California. He actually gave himself the title Zodiac in the cryptic letters he sent to the press during his murder spree. The letters often began with the words, quote, "This is the Zodiac speaking," end quote, and contained various cryptograms and taunts alluding to his planned murders. In one of his letters to the San Francisco Bay Area press, he said, quote, "I like killing people because it's fun," end quote. Most of the cryptograms remain unsolved to this day. These are what the cryptograms look like. The letters were also accompanied by the infamous signature of the Zodiac Killer, a circle with a cross running through it. The Zodiac ceased written communications around 1974. Though he claimed to be responsible for 37 deaths, no Zodiac victims have been discovered since 1969. The Zodiac's weapon of choice was a handgun. He killed his first victims, David Faraday and Betty Jensen, a high school couple, on their first date, using a .22 semi-automatic pistol on December 20th, 1968. In July 1969, he shot another young couple, Michael Magell and Darlene Farron, with a 9mm handgun. Michael survived, but Darlene did not. In September 1969, the Zodiac targeted a college-age couple, Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard, who were simply enjoying a picnic at a lake. This time, instead of simply shooting them, he made Cecilia tie up Brian before tying her up. Then he stabbed them both several times. Brian managed to survive this brutal attack, but sadly, Cecilia did not. The last known Zodiac victim was a taxi driver named Paul Stein, who was shot in the head by his passenger, the Zodiac. While investigators agree on 7 confirmed victims, 2 of whom survived, the Zodiac has taken responsibility for no less than 37 murders. Similar to Jack the Ripper, the Zodiac Killer is one of the most infamous and elusive serial killers of all time. The following is information I found on datanami.com, and I'll link that in the description. The Zodiac Killer's most uncrackable cipher has, at last, been solved. Cryptographic researchers have finally cracked a 51-year-old code left by the Zodiac. The researchers, including David Orchak, a computer programmer in Roanoke, Virginia, Sam Blake, an applied mathematician at the University of Melbourne, and Jarl van Inke, a Belgian codebreaker and warehouse worker, had all tried unsuccessfully to break the Zodiac's 340-character code before joining forces in 2018, according to Discovery magazine. And then the FBI issued this comment. The FBI is aware that a cipher attributed to the Zodiac Killer was recently solved by private citizens. The Zodiac Killer case remains an ongoing investigation for the FBI San Francisco Division and our law enforcement partners. Due to the ongoing nature of the investigation, and out of respect for the victims and their families, we will not provide further comment at this time. Okay, so this is what this cipher said, this 51-year-old cipher that was very difficult to crack. I took the cipher and then I put in what it said. And it says, quote, "I hope you are having lots of fun in trying to catch me. I am not afraid of the gas chamber because it will send me to paradise all the sooner, because I now have enough slaves to work for me." End quote. The Zodiac. Okay. So that is all I have. Thank you for watching this and spending this time with me. I hope you'll return for another video. I don't usually do this type of video, but I gave it a shot because I just finished my Zodiac playlist where I color the Zodiac, each sign in the Zodiac. And I don't know, a friend said, "Hey, you should do the Zodiac Killer." And I thought, well, okay, I'll try. So that's what this is. I just thought I'd give it a shot. Okay. All right. Thanks again.